Welcome, everybody. This is your boy, Tramaine Davenport, and welcome to the No One Has It Figured Out podcast. Uh, if y'all missed it last week, just because I didn't do an episode, and I'm not apologizing for it. So it is what it is. Um, Let me start off with words of the week. So a little bit about me. I like to read, but I don't have a lot of time to sit down and do nothing and just read. So I listen to a lot of audiobooks, and I've been listening to a book called Arate by Brian Johnson. And there was an excerpt from this book that kind of stuck out to me, where he said that, if we can just be 1% better every day, there's 1,440 minutes in a day. So if we're just 1% better, that boils down to less than 2 minutes a day. So if you just strive to be better 2 minutes a day than you were the day before, imagine where your life could go beyond that. So let's hop into it. All right, so today we got a guest on the show. This man has been a friend of mine for 20 plus years. I don't want to do the math, but let's say eighth grade. Um, I've seen much more of this man than I've wanted to. I've fucking had more experiences with this man than I wanted to. We've almost kissed death a couple times together, but it is what it is. We're we're here together. He's acting the fool in the backstage over here, so don't mind me just laughing at him. But yeah, we've been friends for a long time, going back all the way back to middle school. We one of the guys that you can, we don't talk on a consistent basis. We can go months without talking, and when we see each other, man, it's like picking up from day one. So he is also a veteran of the United States Army, um, like myself. So let's just welcome him in, Paul. Paul, say hello to the people. How you doing?
What up? What up? What up?
What's going on, man? How you doing? How's life treating you right now?
Oh, good, man. Busy work. You know how it is, man.
Oh yeah, you ain't got to tell me, bro. Stay
Mm-hmm.
stay busy. What you
Oh,
drinking?
yeah. So you like a little Topo Chico for the advertisement,
Oh
man?
man, Topo Chico.
Single lemon. Try not to stay too much on the whiskey, man. Getting those tortilla hips. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Give
that
me,
old age hitting that ass, my boy.
brother. I can't. Yeah, the metabolism goes down by -8. You know what I'm saying?
All right, man. So yeah. You got anything you're struggling with in the world? Because Lord knows this last week has kicked me in the teeth, fucked me harder than R. Kelly. Is it too soon to say something like that?
Nah, no. It's never too soon to make an R. Kelly joke.
I mean,
It is too soon to
we
make a
could
Prince
throw the
joke,
P
though.
Diddy out.
P Diddy and Suge Knight. Hmm. Yeah. No, man. Just uh, you know how it goes, bro. You get a little busy with work and busy with family and all that kind of shit. Just you know how it is. Trying to juggle all the things in life. You know how it goes.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. That's all I do: work, family. Try to find time for me.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man.
Heck yeah, man. So let's dive a little bit into and I know that pre this episode we kind of wanted to talk about some PTSD things like that. So let's just give us a quick background on your military experience. When did you join? Where'd you serve? What was your MOS? For people that don't know what MOS is, that's your military occupational specialty. Is like your job description in the military. So yeah, let's give us a quick rundown of your military experience.
Yeah. Joined back in 2009. It took me a lot longer than it should have, but joined the army.
Move on,
First
move
choice
on.
was not the army at all. Was not the military. But with the kid, work, you know how it is, man. You're like, dude, like I'm 21. I have a kid. I have another one on the way. Like, what? And I knew at the back of my mind that I was not mature. At 21, I knew I was not. I knew that I couldn't go down the same path as my dad. So I was like, I got to do something else. And I was like, I got to have someone force me to do something out of my comfort zone. And I'm like, the military is a law-abiding government job. I can't quit. So, I mean, I can quit, but they're going to recycle
Hey,
me.
bro, pause. So, hey, that was your mindset going into it. How do you, in hindsight, how's that feel?
uh, like going into basic training or like going in the military all around?
Well, going in the military with the basis that it was going to be something that was going to give you uh, structure, was going to whip you into shape.
I mean, it was terrifying, man. I mean, you know how it is, dude. We were young and just stupid, and when you're not ready. I mean, you just there's nothing that can prepare you for like the military. That it doesn't matter what it is. Like you can try and like explain it to people, but there's not really any words to explain it besides if you've gone or not.
Fact.
So, really I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I had nothing else to do. I had you went in the military. I had Jamal and Shanquell at the time. They went in the military. I had a friend named TJ went in the military.
Well, Captain
So
T Air Force.
yeah, right. Yeah, Air Force. But everybody was going. I was like, well, maybe this is the opportunity for me. So I joined in 2006 or sorry, 2009 and became a caps. Well, actually, I enlisted as a tanker. So
Kilo.
um, yeah, so it was 19 kilo, and I don't know, man. Like I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. It was either a Patriot missile, Humvee like mechanic. It was a para-rigger, which I'm not trusting myself with rigging parachutes. Like I can barely concentrate talking in 3 or 4 sentences in a row without having or in a sense. I'm not doing that. And then it was infantry, cap scout, or tanker. And I was like, well, if I'm in a tank, at least I'm protected. And I don't think we're getting into invasions with like any big countries, at least for right now. But went in and it was 10 years. It was 7 years active duty, 3 years National Guard. Got out and that was it, man. One deployment, 2 campaigns, and then a multi-force deployment to the Sinai Peninsula, which is kind of crazy that I was actually over there and everybody was just kind of peace signing it up. And now Palestine versus Israel right now is going on. So it's kind of insane to actually know and actually see some of the areas that are actually in a lot of crisis that I've actually seen with my eyes. So it's insane. But did those campaigns and got the hell out. Helped out with the National Guard of the Hurricanes. Helped out with the Del Rio mission with Border Patrol. But 10 years, I'm out. Done, man. I was done.
I get that. I get that. Bro, so I've talked to a lot of people and me myself, I was National Guard the entire time. How was that transition from active duty to National Guard
Oh
for
man.
you?
Um, It was like going from the highway to the expressway. Like you can still go that speed, but you need to slow it down a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the only way that I can be able to. Hell, even soldiers to this day, that I talk to that went National Guard, like man, that makes sense. And that's the only way that I can explain it is, you're at this like full hua all the fucking time, and you're just going, 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 and then you get told like, "Hey, man, relax, bro. It ain't that big of a deal." I'm like, "Hey, hey, chill the fuck out, bro. Why you trying to smoke everybody here?" You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, well, fuck you, private, and walk off. And he goes, tell him what the fuck to do. All right, Paul, what the fuck you said? It wasn't like that, but it was definitely a different transition because but it was kind of easy in a sense too because there was a lot more active duty previous active duty that I knew in National Guard than I thought. I didn't know that a lot of active duty guys went to National Guard and they did.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was kind of surprising and that was refreshing because they were like, hey bro, just you're gonna You're gonna stress. This is your first drill. I need you to relax.
Hey,
You're gonna
play the
stress
game,
yourself
bro.
out.
Play
Yeah,
it.
play exactly. Play the game. Play the game, man. So it was different. Standards were the same, but it was a different gear. It was a
Let me
different gear.
let me ask you this: did you have a preconceived notion, right? So I know the National Guard. I don't think I've ever asked you this, but I know the National Guard has a kind of a bad name, especially when it comes to how active duty for like sees the National Guard. We have the moniker, the Nasty Girls, the Nasty Guard, or whatever.
Yeah.
Weekend Warriors, you name it, right? But did you have any of those preconceived notions going in? Like,
No, I actually had. I mean, it was because of you. I didn't have that. I guess like that mindset because I had friends that were in the National Guard, so I didn't have like this like I'm better than y'all because I went to we actually had a really cool National Guard unit there whenever I was in Iraq, and they helped do road clearing like kind of like what you did in Iraq too, and they were I mean shit you couldn't have told them apart
yeah,
except for their patch. That was it.
yep, yep, man, and that's I've experienced a lot of that, right? Where I went, a lot of the schools and things that I've went to, every single school except for one that I've been to in my military career, that's been mixed with active duty, guard, and reservist. A National Guardsman has taken honor grad in every single one of those. Uh,
Oh yeah, yeah, that's
you
very
know,
true.
I
Yeah.
saw, man, firsthand in Iraq, man. When first Cav came in and they took over the overall command, and they were like, "What?
Mhm.
National Guard's got battle space? Like, y'all get the hell out of here!" You know what I mean? And we ended up on gate guard for the duration of the deployment. Working ECPs, doing a little bit of QRF stuff, but it was mostly ECPs after that. And man, we took care of the population out there, right? We're kind of paying attention. We're keeping them safe. Because there was an insurgency. So a lot of people didn't want the people that were there. There was a lot of Iranians and stuff like that. Out
Mhm.
there fighting, but we were mindful about some of their infrastructure and things like that, right? Where we had certain vehicles that were fucking tall. You run the PVC over it so that it over your antennas and things like that, so they ride over the top. Man, specifically one the first day I remember this, we kind of went outside of our battle space, and it was we've done it plenty of times, but to meet a police chief out there,
Oh, nice.
IP police chief, right? So we're in this
Mhm.
little compound. It's right outside our battle space, maybe like a click and a half. And we're rolling back in, and there's a third ID convoy rolling by, a broken TV. And they saw us, and man, they're like, "What the hell are y'all doing?" Calling over the radio, "What the fuck are y'all doing out here in our battle space?" Like, man, literally just passing through. Like, we're about to make this right hand turn back in our battle space. No, don't worry about us. Continue on your shit. What did they do? Dude, they fell in right behind us, right? And they're in we were still in 1151s. They had the Max Pros, Max Pro Dash,
Mm.
right? So these things
Oh
are
yeah.
what, 3 foot taller than anything that we have rolling
Yeah,
down the
just
road,
this
at least.
monster thing. Yeah, armored out the ass. Yeah.
And dude, we're coming down the main, it's like one of the main villages that we roll through almost every day. And dude, they're tearing down every bit of power line, phone line, whatever the hell all these lines were running from roof to roof. They were tearing all that shit down. And at me as the tail gunner looking backwards, I'm just looking at this shit like we're gonna get fucked up next time we roll through here, because they see us every day. They recognize our patches. You know what I mean? They don't know who the hell these people are. And like 2 days later, they took us out of that battle space. Dude, when I tell you those guys started getting effed up,
Oh
like,
yeah.
they started going out into that battle space, man. We started getting mortars and stuff lobbed in, rockets and everything lobbed in the bay. I'm like, "Dude, what the hell is going on out there?"
Yeah, those pipe racks were important, man. They were very important when
Yeah,
you went under like those phone lines and those wires. If you broke something, you
100%.
stopped. If you were afraid to break something, you halted immediately
Oh, yeah,
and
dude.
fucking pulled. Get your freaking dismount out, pull guard, held on. I'm gonna move this shit real quick. Y'all go ahead and go and jump back in and go out. Because if you
These
broke anything,
these
they were
dudes,
known to doing that. If it was always something, if someone tore down something, dude, we got fucking idea.
oh, yeah.
we got
Yeah.
we 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 got we got blown up. Something happened within like 24, 48 hours, all the time. So they were like, do not fuck with those guys' phone lines, man, and electrical lines. Don't do it.
Yeah, they definitely tore all that stuff down. But it was just I say that because I was talking to once they put us on ECP, there were some guys that were doing a like kind of left seat, right seat handover
Yeah.
with some guys from I think they were first cav, man, and it was like you kind of gotta treat these people this way and these people over here this way, and when you're funneling them through this line, keep them from fighting and all this stuff, dude. They're still people, you know what I mean? Even though we're over there for whatever purpose we were over there for, you know,
Yep.
and there's at the end of the day, they're still people. You don't always know what their intentions are, but they're still it's still another human being on the other side of this, right? So,
Mhm.
I tried to treat everybody the same until they showed me otherwise. These dudes came in and they're like, "Fuck these motherfuckers, dude." I was like, just that different mindset, man. And I didn't get it. You know what I mean? And I think that was attributed to I, you can tell me if I'm wrong or not because I've never experienced the true active duty side. I've been attached to some active duty units and we've done a lot of training with active duty units, especially when there was one fiscal year we did a lot of training, but it was I kinda lost my train of thought there. Damn it.
It's okay, homie. We're vibing, bro. We're vibing.
Yeah, but living that military life, every minute of every day, and you only dealing with military, right? So,
Mhm.
me as somebody that, come up from a private, now I'm in sergeant mode, right? I've been promoted to E5, now I'm in charge of Joes. I feel like, everybody should understand what I'm saying. Right? So I don't have to kinda cater my speech to anybody else except for Joe, right? And it's like, I can talk shit. I can be as brash as I wanna be, and, I don't have to worry about the outcome because we all know that the mission set goes first. So whatever I'm saying, you gotta fucking do, right? So
It's true.
on the guard side, we still have civilian jobs and things like that where I still have to go and, uh you know, mingle with civilians. I still have to communicate with civilians. I still have to get my point across. I still have to, explain what I'm doing. People don't always understand. It's just uh I kind of feel like, being in the National Guard kind of gave me that flip to switch, right? Where I can go from civilian mode back to military mode. And sometimes that was beneficial, right? In in combat, I say combat, but in, deployments and things like that, where I'm dealing with civilian population, right? Where I can still look at this person as a person, right? Not just a fucking enemy like I was trained to
Yeah.
until they show me otherwise. And then it's like
And
fucking
it's on. And
yeah,
it's on. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I got you. That flip that switch, bro. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. The differences between National Guard and
Yeah, I mean, it was dude, I mean, the people that we deployed with, man, I mean, it is, and to kind of get to your point, the question that you asked, I didn't see any difference, but we were so high strung because in my basic training, we were like, you're going to Iraq.
oh yeah,
You're going to Iraq. Like just be and so basic training for me was just like we're preparing you because you're going to a unit and you will deploy. The only way you're not deploying is if you're in South Korea and you'll probably deploy within a year after that.
yeah.
So there was always like that, like, okay, fuck, I'm going to Iraq. Doesn't matter if I go to Fort Carson, Fort Benning, Fort Hood, whatever,
Where did you end up?
Fort Hood.
The hood.
So funny story how that happened was my original orders were Fort Hood, right? Well, it's an interesting story. So Fort Hood, and there's another guy that had Fort Carson. He wanted to go to Texas because that's where his family's from, and I wanted to get the fuck out of Texas. And I was like, dude, I want to get the fuck out of Texas, bro. I was like, can we switch orders? And we heard people that were doing that, and they're like, and then George was like, I don't give a fuck, go figure it out. So we went to Cadre, and they were like, yeah, we'll switch it. So we switched our names and we switched orders. So I was going to Carson now, and he was going to Hood. These motherfuckers, dude. the like second to last day of basic training, they said everybody that's going to Fort Carson is now Hood, and everybody that says going to Fort Carson, bro. So didn't fucking matter. It was fates beyond me that I went to Fort Hood anyways. And he was like, "Well, sorry, bro. I tried." I'm like, "Hey, man, it's all gravy, dude." So yeah, I went to Fort Hood for all of my active duty. I thought about going to Fort Lewis for after Iraq, and a lot of my friends went to Fort Lewis after our deployment, and then I stayed because they kept talking about Afghanistan. Afghanistan's gonna happen, and we're like, all right, dude, like, you sure? Like, kind of want to get that other badge. At that time, your platoon are like, well, you've been in Iraq, but you haven't done Afghanistan yet. And you're like, all right, man. So we stay, and then Afghanistan gets the next. And like, yeah, we're going to Egypt. Like, for what? And then we have to do homework on it. It's like, oh, okay, well, I guess that's fine. So, but yeah, anybody that I've ever met National Guard, you've met Jordan before my wedding,
Yeah.
Hegwald.
Yep.
That's probably I mean, he's been National Guard his whole career. I would have, if I wouldn't have known better, he was active duty his whole career,
Yeah,
and he
man.
was he
I
was
think a lot
awesome.
of it has to do with what unit you go to as
Yes,
well.
I do too.
I don't wanna shit on anybody, but, like, my first experience of the National Guard was that, right? With everybody the weekend warrior thing where we're going out to the field and drinking beer and, I mean, we worked hard, but we played hard as well. And then,
Yeah.
you know, I, promoted, um let me back up. For my first deployment, I reclassed to infantry from combat engineer, reclassed to infantry, and then funny enough, deployed with Alpha Troop 124 Cav, where you ended up in your National Guard career, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
I deployed with those guys, and it was different to say the least. Those guys were fucking what's the saying? If you ain't Cav, you ain't shit. Matter of fact, I got my combat spurs sitting over there. It's funny.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. They
Uh,
always talk about those gold spurs being, those silver spurs being better than gold. I don't think so, bro. Like, you
the whole
know,
thing. Yeah, I get it. It's
yeah, no, bro. Those gold spurs, you earn your months out there in the BS. Like the silver spurs. I'm not gonna like. I'm running my fucking mouth, right? But spurs, man. Like, to me, I always rep my gold spurs, and everybody always to talk their shit, right? And I'm like, oh man, you get your silver spurs. I'm like, man, I being a cocky little specialist that I was, man, fuck those silver spurs. Like, oh fuck yeah, get them specials, Gonzo. Like telling sergeants to fuck off. Motherfucker, I got my gold shit. And it was just because of the pride that you had, in active duty. They made you
oh,
your LT would put your shit on. Your lieutenant would put your spurs on. So that
dude.
was pretty fucking cool to me, man.
I don't even think that was an active duty thing. I think that's just a calf thing.
Yeah. Oh
Uh,
yeah.
Super prideful. With some of the most
Mm-hmm.
prideful guys that I've met in the
Very true.
military, right?
Very true.
They were a different breed, but their tempo was insane compared to what I did. Granted, we were going straight to mode platform, right? Um, One of the biggest deployments in Texas Guard history, actually. And a lot of those guys were, especially some of the upper leadership, were vets, like initial invasion vets, right? So it was like, you better get your ass in shape right the fuck now, or
Yep.
you can go ahead and get the fuck out of here because we got more people coming down the pipeline. So, uh, you know, shape up or ship out. Um, and then, my second deployment, I went to 442 down in Angleton. And man, their motto was best in the business. And when I made my first contact phone call, I called the readiness NCO down there. I'm like, hey man, I just got transferred to you guys. We'll make sure you got a spot for me. What do we got going on for this next drill? He's like, yeah, man, we're like 3 months out from mode platform, and this is probably as close to active duty as you're gonna get in the guard. So I hope you're ready. And I was like, I mean, I guess, I mean, I don't know what to think about this. And then I got
I don't know
back,
what the fuck
and
that means. I don't know
it
what that means, but I guess I'm ready. I don't know.
if I have anything to say about that company, man, that was probably the most professionally run company. I think it was, attributed to some of the leadership that was there. Now retired Sergeant Major Stamps. My platoon sergeant at the time, he is now first sergeant, Simon. You know, those guys were outstanding leaders, right? I learned
Hmm.
a lot going into that, just from a leadership standpoint, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, that was probably like I said, I mean, to make my point, I think it just depends on what unit you go to, right?
Absolutely. Oh
Espe
yeah.
especially in the guard. Um, so let's, what was your first deployment like?
First deployment was unique. Like I said, the brain. It wasn't like a shock and all. It was a. I've been preparing since basic training. Like I got off the bus and it was like, y'all motherfuckers be ready to go to Iraq, you
Yeah,
know? And it's like, all
yeah.
right, whatever, bro. And then you get there like, hey, you're going to Fort Irwin for like 30, 30 days to train and get, get approved for Iraq. And then 2 weeks after that, you're deployed.
I kinda wanna contact like, I think that, especially when we went in, right? I went in '06, you went in '09, there was still the height of fighting over there, right? So I think what
Yeah.
happened and how we were groomed like that is because a lot of those guys were coming back, and that was their next assignment, right? You're a drill
Yeah.
sergeant now. Like, get out of the shit, now you're a drill sergeant, and they're still like, ramp the fuck up. Like, my drill sergeants were
Oh, man.
off the chain, bro.
Bro.
Like,
Yeah. Dude, some of them I was like, y'all aren't real. You're not real.
dude, when I
This
tell
is this
you,
is a fucking movie. That's
I
what I
wanna
thought.
say the first day we showed up, I think on my floor alone in my platoon, we had, like, almost 100 guys.
Mm.
When I say we graduated maybe 50, dude, like, the first day, motherfuckers were going AWOL. Like, "I can't do this." Like, they were gone. And I'm like, I'm laughing about this shit, you know what I mean? My mom was fucking tough on me, right? She always wanted to be a drill sergeant, so, I'm laughing at it. These dude, it was, I mean, but it was nuts. I watched motherfuckers get kicked. Hell, I got pushed across the room, fucking thrown off my feet,
Buddy,
fucking
I got
nail
lifted
crate
from my
kicked to my
armpits.
head.
I
I
got
got
lifted. No brass, no ammo lifted
I
off
got
my feet.
thrown by my
Yeah.
fucking vest on the range because I turned a little bit and my rifle was still in my hand. I went to just a little bit off center from downrange. Thrown, bro. Yes, these dudes are nuts. Okay, my bad, man. Back into
No,
your
you're good. You're good. No, it's like I said,
where
it's we
where
like we,
where
we we definitely did basic training during the height of everything, and it was different, man. Like like I said, it's a different dynamic. So, whenever I got out and I went to Fort Hood, it was glass house training, it was gunneries, it was going to the field, prepping for, house clearing, ensure, because at that time I was Y1 Delta, so I was a driver. I knew that I was on my LT's truck and I was a driver, which was in like Cav Scout or maybe even combat arms, like being on LT's truck's a very big deal. And platoon sergeants, because it was always 2, 1, 4, 3 in the truck line. So two is like the lead, one's right behind it, four's right behind LT, and then three's in the rear. So if you're the first truck, they look at that as mentoring to build you into maybe NCO material. So it was like, you wear that with honor. So going into deployment, going to Kuwait, getting hit with that brush of hot air into your
ooh,
face, and you're like, buddy, hey, I tell you what, man, I can
damn, you just
whenever,
bad memories.
bro, like when I mean, right? I mean, you're like, if they're like, it's gonna be fucking hot. You're like, whatever, bro. I'm from Texas, and he goes in that. He goes, "Whoa," and he goes, whoa. So you're like, oh fuck me.
Words
What's
for
that black flag doing up in the air? What's that mean? Oh, that means don't walk in the sun. That's what that means. Don't walk in that sun.
that, bro. Like, the only thing I could say after fucking experiencing that heat, like, in the moment was, "Fuck." Like, just for
Ain't
reference
nothing.
just for reference, everybody, if y'all are listening to this, if you've ever put something in an oven for, like, let's say you preheated your oven to 425 degrees, you're gonna make yourself some fucking pizza rolls or something, that's probably too hot for pizza
That's
rolls.
exactly what I was about to say. Pizza rolls, bro.
You put your fucking oven to 425 degrees, and then you go to stick that damn pan in there, you open that oven and that face your face gets that first wave of
Mhm.
heat, and it makes your eyeballs hot. When your eyeballs get hot, that's what it was like. That's what it was like over there. Dude,
Yeah. It
100
it's
120 degrees, 100% humidity.
yeah, you're not there's nothing you can do to prepare
The
for
wind
that.
you
Yeah, it's just
taste it.
you just get fucking just face fucked by the heat. That's what you get.
It's
Like I
disgusting.
don't yeah, it's just I've been molested. Like that's what it feels like by the heat. And it didn't really hit me up until probably when I because being a private, you're just Rogers aren't, wow, you're moving.
Yeah,
I didn't cope with it until I went home. I
yeah,
went home within 3 months of me deploying on that 15-month rotation.
yeah.
So I was like, I came back and I had a whole year left. So I come back and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this right now. I
Yeah.
kind of want to go back home and then getting back and then people dying and getting blown up and then us getting blown up, us getting shot at, lasers getting pointed at us, sniper fire. You're like, okay, what the fuck happened to the first 3 months that was happening? Like where it was just like waking up excited about being in a new country to I don't even want to stand, and then I get promoted to a fucking being a gunner. And so now I'm in the gun and they don't have that little rocking seat that you sit in the gunner seat. You're standing the whole time, locking your knees. So the only way you go name tape defilé is if you crouch down,
Mhm.
and you're not doing that because that's a mid-air squat. So you're paranoid, and so now you're paranoid. And up until the 3 months, I was great, and then after that, I was in like this hypersensitive mode, and you can tell, and everybody else too was just in this like you can tell people were just like it changed a lot of people with how much trauma. Like, oh yeah, well this troop got shot at, or this person got blown up, or this person going to get airlift, or this guy died, and you go to these ceremonies with boots with the gun, and you see all that stuff, and it's hard, and you're just like, man, like what happened? Like what happened while I was and I was like, what the fuck happened while I was gone? You
Hey, bro,
know?
so when you're talking about these ceremonies, man, did you ever have to do one of those in country?
No, I did all of mine in Iraq. I did three in Iraq.
Yeah, in country.
Oh yeah, in country. Sorry, my
Yeah.
bad. I'm over here thinking United
Come on,
States.
man, catch up, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I did them all on our on Cos Calsu.
Yeah, dude. And then it's like back to work. Swallow that shit, go back to work.
Yep. All right. Well, cool. Let's go back to doing your QRF shit, and you just go back and you have to. But the thing is that your brain's so wired that you're like, all right, bloop, and then you check back out, and then you don't process any of that until you get home, and
If
it's like,
if you start
oh,
processing.
it,
Yep.
yeah, if yeah, and it is, and what I try to explain to people whenever I tell them about everything that happened after I got in the military and what all the trauma that I went through is that it felt like something did something to unlock that door. And it was like I was holding it back for so long, and then I did something to lock it, whether it be liquor, smoking cigarettes, going out and doing stupid shit, getting my highs off of anything that I could do, non-drug related, whether it be doing something stupid or, doing backflips off of, whatever I could to fucking get that high. And I put that lock, and then for something happened where it unlocked it, and then it just wouldn't stop flowing out. And that's whenever I was like, "Oh no, the
Yep.
unprocessed feelings,
Yep.
all this trauma just flow."
What is
So
this? I don't know what to do with all of this. Yeah.
make it stop, stop.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That's 100% real, man. I mean, even for myself, I don't wanna get into too much because this is about you, but,
Yeah,
yeah, man, I hell, dude, I will say this, you saw me the first time that, being back home side that I went into muscle memory mode, um, and like it took me a second to snap out of it, right? Where we were in Burleson, man, playing basketball at the courts. I don't know if you remember that. It was me, you, and Brian.
Hmm.
Uh, there was a dog. We're in a fucking fenced-in basketball court, but there was a dog run up out of nowhere. When I'm not paying attention, don't see the dog coming, but the dog just starts barking, right? And immediately it was my brain went threat. And I kept my M4 whenever I was not in the gunner's house. My M4 sat right here in my shoulder pocket already on the little, I don't know what they call them, Ranger clips. I don't remember,
Yeah. Hmm.
but it was clipped right there, right? So all I had to do was push down on the pistol grip and it was already in my shoulder pocket, right? I don't know if you remember this, but that dog started barking and my arm was doing this. I was in the ready position, backpedaling, trying to push for my fucking pistol grip. And I was like, I looked down and I was like, oh shit, I'm I'm
I
I'm,
look like I look like I was scratching my nipple.
I'm home.
Damn, I'm
I'm
home.
home.
I don't got my guns.
This is
I
dog.
don't got my gun. Yep.
Dude. Yeah. So whew, let's go a little bit into you know, you said that there were a lot of 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 times that you tried to like maladaptively cope with some of those feelings, right? Because they are unprocessed feelings. There
Yeah.
are a lot of
Oh yeah.
things that the mission must continue. So, that stuff gets put somewhere in a nice, neat little box and put up on
Hmm.
the shelf. And then, something happens, that shelf gets bumped, shit starts falling off and it lands heavy as fuck on you, man. So let's talk about some of those things that you were doing to because I 100% 100% get that, man. There's still times where especially things that are like should cause me grave danger, right? Where my life is in danger, even still to this day, man. It's like I go cold. Like there's no emotion behind it. I'm like, I think I've come to terms with my death. You know what I mean? My mortality is a real thing. I've seen it happen right there. And it's hard to where most people would be scared, I go Iceman, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, whoop, all the feeling drops
Yeah.
out. So it's really hard for me to get adrenaline spikes, and that sound like kinda like what you were talking about, going out and doing stupid shit, probably seeking some of that danger. Let's talk about some of that. Would you
Yeah, man. Getting back and just it was just a lot of drinking.
Yeah,
I mean, shit, combat MOS, like you were drinking all every day.
you don't wanna feel.
No, you just want to kind of get past it. Weekends, go to Austin because Fort Hood's only like an hour away from Austin. So you go down to 6th Street every single time. So you're going down there and getting fucked up, fighting, and all that kind of weighs in. Because I know, it was, it wasn't hard talking to others about it, like friends, like people that I served with, but it was hard to discuss it with people that were friends. So you come back, and we discussed this once before that you and we can talk about it and we have a general understanding because we kind of went through like that same like blank look at the wall, like kind of zone out and then fucking click back to reality and takes a little while. We understand that feeling, but we can't explain that to people that never served. And it's not their fault. It's
Yeah,
not their fault. And I used to get very angry at people that didn't understand me. I was like, motherfucker, like you don't like, I'd get so mad if I would try to explain it, but it was very selfish of me that I couldn't do it. So because I couldn't talk to friends that were trying to reach out to help, and the other friends that were in the military, they were so used to closing everything out that you have no one to talk to.
yeah,
And so that builds up. So like I said, the drinking, just the awful relationship habits I was having at that time where, you know, Jessica and I weren't even, my ex-wife, we weren't even together anymore. She was kind of back at home doing her thing and I was back at back off post on post housing by myself.
yeah,
And so people were like, we're having a ball. You find your wife. I'm like, we're not together, and like don't want any questions. You don't want to get back on base. So it was really hard to kind of, come back and and just play video games and numb your brain out because you can't numb it out with just like what you used to do before deployment. So you try to find the next high, whether it be all the stupid shit of drinking and going out and getting fucked up with friends. And, really for me, it was drinking. I found a vice in drinking and, just every single day, just getting fucked up every single day, waking up. All right, PT, go throw up, detox run, come back, do your shit, and you just repeat, repeat, repeat every single day, you know?
Yep. Yep. Ah, bring back stuff that I ain't even talked about before. But man, so what I know at some point, you reached out for help. What
Mm,
caused you to finally reach out, right? Because I know that process was long as hell for me. What
hmm
but it took coming to almost my life just fucking falling apart. I mean, when they say rock bottom,
Oh, buddy. Yeah.
did you
Oh,
hit
yeah.
rock bottom and what was it?
Yeah.
What was that experience?
It was the police. It was the police coming to my window and telling me not to do what I was about to do.
Mm,
And I had friends, I had family there, I had, friends there that were attempting to calm me down and they weren't doing it. And probably I was saying goodbyes
yeah,
really in the car. So that's what I was doing. I was saying goodbyes. I was saying goodbyes to everybody. And I had like a little recorder thing on my phone and I was saying my goodbyes and then the cops found me. Um, which for a long time I kept those goodbyes on a phone. I don't know why my sick ass kept them, but it was more of like a reminder of like
remind me, man.
how low you become and you just like I want to get cry, like I'll keep it, I'll give that, but um it was getting to that point where I was starting to be very toxic in my relationships where I would close out and I would just kind of just ignore like what they want and need and I would make it about me and I was selfish and then I would, whether it would be just like, you know, just not invest in myself in that person. And they would make and then it would come off like, then I would come off as an asshole and then they'd break up with me. I'd get triggered and I would go through this drinking phase. And then when I would drinking bring me back to the military. Military brings me to think about about Iraq. Iraq makes me think about my friend's dead. And I'm like, and there's the gate, all flow. And then it's like, I'm gonna kill myself. And then you just come to terms. And I think what rock bottom for me was that I was okay with killing myself. I
Yeah,
was okay. It wasn't like a scared, it wasn't like a fear. It was I'm good. I've done what I can on this earth. I'm content. I'm fine with it. I will do it and I don't feel bad. And that's exactly how I felt. And that was rock bottom to me. And the only way that I was able to get help was forced by police.
yeah,
And I got handcuffed. The guy that handcuffed me was a veteran. He said, "Man, I won't leave this too tight." And he talked me all the way to JPS, which JPS, bro.
yeah.
JPS are sketchy as shit. And you get put in these handcuffs and they take you to the psych ward, you get evaluated, and like, you are not okay. You need to go to level 3. And you go to level 3 and you're like, okay, maybe I need to get help. And that's when it happened.
Yeah.
And I hope and like I've always told myself that I hope that one day that maybe I can repay, you know, somebody else that was in that situation where they felt like they needed to just be okay with leaving, leaving this earth. I say if I can at least repay that debt of trying to bring them back from where I was at, that'll be enough for me. And that's all you can do as a whether it be a brother or a friend or whatever it is. That was my breaking point was that happening and then the police coming because I don't know what would happen.
Yeah. 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 I I know to
A
a lot,
little deep, a little deep with the Chopo Chicos.
but 100% I get it, right? Because I have literally been there. So, just to kind of explain that to people that, have never really had to go to that headspace. man, it sounds crazy, saying it, but I think it's almost easy to go to that place. There's a lot of when you're feeling that all that pain, all at once, man. Like it's a real hard thing to get away from, right? I've literally knowingly kissed my kids for what I thought was the last time. Not
Hmm.
fucking hard that like, but I
Yeah.
was okay
Oh
with
yeah.
it. You know what I mean? Because it's like,
Yeah. That's a scary thing. That's scary. That's scary, right? I mean,
yeah,
thinking about it now in a
yeah,
sane sense of mind, you're like, fuck,
yeah.
but you
That's
were just, it was the calmness. It was the weight lifted off your shoulders. You're like, I'm about to do something that I've always wanted to do because it's going to make me end everything and end the pain that I have. That's where it's like,
at
oh
least once
fuck,
again.
that's
Yeah,
scary. That's
and it
scary shit.
and in that moment, like you said something earlier, I was just being selfish and all that stuff. Man, in the moment, man. It's just like that's why I've tried to explain this to other people. In that moment, it is 100% it's selfish, right? But in the moment, you don't think about that because it is
Mm.
just I have to stop. Like I made a Facebook post, not or was it Instagram or Facebook? I don't remember, but I made a post a couple years back, man, where I was like, I'm tired of fighting. Like I don't think that I didn't put any context behind it, right? And people were like, "Why don't you just stop fighting?" I was like, I didn't
I remember that
I
post.
didn't I
I
didn't
remember that post
yeah, man, I
actually.
had people reaching out in the DMs and Messenger, and they were like, "Dude, just stop fighting." And I'm like, "I don't think you understand what that means for me because"
You're not doing anything to help. Right, but they
yeah,
don't know the context. They don't know the context behind what you're saying.
and I've I wonder if this is like this for you, but I know that once I went there, there are there's certain times, certain things that will happen to man, just this damn week, bro. Uh, and I told you, but we'll tell the people of the podcast. I told y'all on the first episode I got this trucking thing going. Um, man, my that has probably come to a screeching halt, for the foreseeable future. I've had a big expense pop up, and I wasn't ready for it. But man, that right there it's been a grind this entire time trying to start this. It's been almost, a year and 4 months at
I'll
this
say it's
point,
almost, yeah, it's been a while now. Probably more
and
than that.
been talking about it since before then. But I finally got it up and running January of 23, and it's been rough getting off the ground because, in hindsight, maybe I should have run it, but I've been trying to get a driver into it at the same time that I'm trying to help somebody else, you know what I mean? Could I go out there and do it myself? Absolutely, 100%. But I'm trying to get somebody else employed so that, I'm leaving my mark on the world. I just wanna do something for other people. And so, that took a big hit and it shut down. Now it's not making any money. I got a lot of money tied up in this thing, right? And that just the whole grind of it all and then overcoming hurdle after hurdle after hurdle after hurdle after hurdle and then finally getting it going and it's like okay I see light at the end of the tunnel and then having that door slammed it's like fuck dude like I feel like this has been all my life, you know what I mean, where there's all this progress all this progress all this progress and then boom.
And then
So
halt.
you know
Yeah.
and I don't have any plans or anything like that but like that fucking thought is always like right here.
Hmm.
When it's like, last ditch option, it's still there.
It's interesting. It's almost like a kill switch.
Is that
No
thing
pun intended. No pun intended. Right.
oh, buddy, 'cause
But
hey,
it's right
hey,
there. It
yeah,
lingers. It lingers right there when it gets bad because you try not to let anything trigger you to get to that point, but it's always that thought. But then you kind of bring yourself back in, after you kind of breathe and you bring it. But that's all about just how you process it. And if you know how to process it, it took you a while to kind of get to a point where you can process it. Maybe not to the point where you are completely able to like get out of that mindset, but for me, it took me to a point where I'm failing as a dad or I'm failing at this. Why am I failing? Because I'm not making enough money. Why am I not making enough money? because I'm not at a good job. Why am I not a good job? Because I don't push myself. Why am I not pushing myself? Because I think I'm going to fail. How do I fix that? And you create
Look,
stuck points, right? The stuck points.
yep,
You know about stuck points. So you go through these stuck points and you're like, okay, I found the root cause. Now I need to figure it out. It took me probably 5 years to really process emotions like that. And still to this day, like, I tell hey, like, my sisters, like there's still depression there. There's still anxiety. There's still stressors that, triggers that are things that weigh on me a lot from military time to personal life. But I know how to address them now instead of getting weighted down and bullied and then,
fall victim to them. So
exactly.
let me ask you this: Are they more of a? I mean, you say you still have those feelings. Are they more of a warning sign for you now? You're a little more conscious to them.
I'm a little bit more caught. I think in my head, I feel like I am, but Haley's been amazing and knowing when she's like, you need to you are you okay? And
So
then it's kind of like a nudge, like, hey, dumbass, like you're in this funk. Why are you in this funk? Fucking work. All right, wise work. Go through your stuck points. You're like, okay, is it really is I'm about to be off in an hour. I can let go of this shit.
yeah,
So it's a lot of just like ebb and flow, but I think with the great partner that Haley is, she really helps me see like where I'm failing at, and then she helps me get to a point where I'm like, maybe you need to go listen to some music or go to the store real quick or kind of get into go up the stairs, play the drums, or put some headphones in, listen to some music. She's very good at doing that now. So, I have a little bit of a cheat code in Haley. She definitely helps me out with stuff like that. But I think, if whenever I was alone, I was able to address them a lot faster than right when I got out of the military.
yeah, yeah. You got to. I mean, support system is paramount, man. Especially in
Mm-hmm.
the continued recovery phase. I hate calling it that because I think it's lifelong after something like this because
Mm-hmm.
the moment you stop practicing the consciousness or thinking about your thoughts or being aware of your feelings, it is real easy to fall back into that rut. And I've done it a couple times. I trip all the fucking time, man. So it's
It's
like I
funny
said.
how we always trip when we're going through a good phase in life, right? And
uh,
like making some
easy
money, have my own business, and fuck, and then you're like, oh god damn it.
to get complacent, man. Yeah, uh, fuck around.
When do you think that you felt like it was one of those situations where I can't handle this on my own? You ask for help because sometimes, like for me, like I didn't ask for help. I was forced into help.
So
Was there something where it would push you to get the help you needed, or was there a certain situation?
so it happened to me twice, right? So the first time, um, my first deployment was a little more kinetic than my last one, right? So, um, I came back, I lied on all the fucking little click yes or no. I was like, "Fuck, I got that. No, 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 no," just trying to get home, right?
A
Uh,
hearing test. Yeah,
do
I feel you.
emo. No, I'm talking about the
Oh,
people.
I know, but like the hearing test when you're just
Yep,
clicking it just to get by it. Yep.
yeah. I gotta get the hell out of here, gotta get home. You know what I mean? I've been
Hmm.
gone for fucking 18 months or some stupid shit like that. 16 maybe. And, you know, I started noticing man, it probably took me about 2 years after my Iraq deployment. I started having, really vivid nightmares, hearing and seeing stuff where I thought I was awake. It feels like everything in my body's awake, but I'm watching stuff happen in front of me. I'm hearing stuff happen in my ears that's not really there in the room with me. And I was like, yeah, this ain't right. I was at work, working at McDonald's, man, fucking head down, turning out food. And I don't know if you remember this fucking it is the like I hate to put a box on people,
Mm,
put people in this category, but
mm,
the smell. the fucking diesel ass and cheap cologne that is sprayed way too much on the motherfucker. Like, you know the smell I'm talking about. I don't know what the hell that cologne was, but it's very distinct, especially when mixed with diesel and asshole. I was working at McDonald's and I smelled that smell and I started scanning up and I saw sandals. I got a little higher. I saw ankle and man dress. And do not tell you, like, the hair on the back of my neck stood up. Like, my heart felt like it was beating out of my fucking chest, and I was like my hands, like, locked up for a second. I was like, and I froze, and they were like, "Dude, you're alright?" And I was like,
Yeah,
"I'm
bro,
gonna
you're
go
burning the
back.
burgers, bro.
I'm
What
gonna
the
go
fuck?
back because I don't know what the fuck else is about to like, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what's happening to me right now," but
Hmm.
that was unnatural to me. And so the combination of those things, and then I started, I started catching myself getting really angry over dumb shit. Like my irritability level was
Oh yeah,
insane,
yeah.
like insane. And I think it was just because I've went over the shit that people complain about, right? Like your problems aren't that big. Like I've went over to here and I've seen the worst that man can do, and then I come back and
You'll be okay. You'll
I'm
be all right.
I'm
You'll
like,
be all right.
"What- dude, you don't know, right?"
Hmm.
So I tried to push that shit down for years. I was doing keep trying to keep myself busy, and then all of a sudden one day, man, it was like it came to a head, and I chose to go to the VA. And in hindsight, at that time, that was probably not the best route for me. Like this is whenever the VA was revamped or whatever. I won't get all political about it, but
Ooh, fuck.
it was,
VA just makes my dick hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, God bless, man.
it was
Oh,
it was a horrible experience, right? So, I was getting medications, it wasn't right, and I was just like, man, fuck this shit. So kind of got complacent with it. But then, I fell into that thing where, one of my coping mechanisms is just get as busy as I can, so I don't have to, my mind doesn't stop. Because when my mind stops, it starts to wonder. That's where
yeah.
it went, right? And then I had no control over when it started wondering what to do with those emotions when they came. I'm a little bit better at it now, but a lot of bit better actually. And then number two, man, I was forced, right? Where I'm not gonna s you there was about a week and a half long series of events, right, where, I talked about it on the last episode about the whole domestic violence thing and, uh,
Hmm.
and, taking, my magazine out of my rifle, loading 1 round, knowing it's just for me, and just a backup plan, taking a bottle full of pills. Um, the cops stopped me in that one, and I ended up in JPS.
You
There
know.
I
Yeah.
went straight from JPS to jail. After, 2 days there at JPS, I went to jail, was bonded out by, um, the, person that I was being I don't even know what word I was about to say. I think I was about to make up a word, but the person I was cheating on my wife with, right? She bails me out. I had no idea she was coming. Craziest shit ever. I walked outside expecting to see, grandparents, mom, something like that, because these are the people that I reached out to, and I go outside and it's her, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" Anyway, so I'm like,
No, I don't want to be here.
"Yeah,
Thank you,
right,
but I don't.
yeah, in
Right.
in hindsight, right."
Appreciate you, but I got to go.
But I got in the car, right? And,
Right.
man, that was conflicted for me, right? Because the twins were
Yeah,
maybe
baby
3 months
babies.
old, 3
Yeah,
months old,
baby babies. Yeah. Oh
maybe
yeah.
5 months old. They may have been a little older. It may have been 5 or 6 months old. And, now I have no contact with them. I'm going through a messy divorce, having to go get, approved for, like, supervised visits and all this stuff, and it
Yeah, I
was
remember that. Yeah.
fucking nuts, bro. So, like, all that compounding on top of now I got business to run. I can't get any of my business assets. They're all in the house. I can't go to the house. Um, now this stuff is affecting my military career, and it's just like everything is within that next week after that, I think there was probably 4 or 5 attempts on my life, man. I haven't told very many people that, but I there was it was just like every night, man, like, "What the fuck am I doing, dude? Like, where is my life going? Like, I don't see the next step, and that's a problem for me." And, yeah, dude, that was nuts, and so finally, man, I reached out, to you, actually, uh,
Mm.
um
I was waiting for my, my cookies. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I
My
made
payment. I'm paid in full.
yeah, man, um, I made that call, and, I'm really glad that I did because I don't know what the f what the fuck, like, I was walking down the street in fucking Stephenville, America, bro. No, I think it was Brownwood at that time. Walking
I'm
down
about to say, I thought you were in
Brownwood,
Brownwood. I thought
bro,
you were in Brownwood.
just I don't know where the fuck I was gonna go. I was just walking because I gotta go somewhere. I can't
There's
stay
a
here, I
black
gotta go
man
work.
walking the streets. What's
Not
he
in Brownwood.
doing?
It's a horrible idea now that I think
I'm
about
about to say, brother, you are in the wrong area to be walking in your color. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I'm the wrong color to walk around in Crowley at night sometimes. You know
it.
what I'm saying?
So,
But yeah.
yeah, man, yeah, I remember that very vividly, man. You were like, "Hang on, bro. I'm about to make a fucking phone call to UBH. I'm gonna call you right back. Imma make sure they got a bed for you." And you literally called me right the fuck back. I was like, "They're waiting on you."
Shout out UBH.
Yeah, UBH, bro. Military wing for all those veterans out there. If you are going through some stuff, 100%. I'm not paid. This is not a paid endorsement. I'm just saying they help me, um, you know, uh, kinda give me a space void of stressors to start processing stuff. That was probably the beginning of when I actually started processing shit,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because it was like, I don't have to in the it was like a vacuum, right? Where in the real world, I can try to process this stuff, but I don't know how to separate that between anything else that's going on in my life. So if something else bad in my life goes on while I'm trying to deal with these emotions, all that shit's spilling out. So that right there was a space, and I was only there for 21 days. That's all fucking TRICARE Reserve Select would cover. It was actually 14 days. I had to get requests to get 7 more days because I'm like, there ain't no fucking way. Y'all got me wide open right now. Like,
I can't go back out, bro. Don't
yeah,
do it. I'm
ain't
all,
there's no
because you know how it is. You know how it is because explaining UBH is that you're going through
the f
counseling session.
yeah,
It is inpatient treatment UBH. It's hard to cut you off, man, but it's they have a veteran wing that a lot of the military sends there, active military, National Guard, and I didn't know about it, and I got put there through to my master sergeant. And what was funny to kind of get off subject was my master sergeant. I remember I called and I had drill, and I called my mom and I said I need my master sergeant's freaking number. I need to call him. And I said, "Hey, Master Sergeant Smith, I ain't gonna be able to make it. I'm locked up in JPS. Are you in jail?" I'm like, "JPS is a hospital, Master Sergeant." He goes, "So you're not in jail?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "All right, that's gonna be easier one. All right, why are you in there?" And I tell him like, "Well, I tried to kill myself." He goes, "God damn it, Gonzo!" And then I'm like, "Sorry, I don't know what to say. I'm parade arrest saying sorry." And he goes, "You stay there. Me and Captain are on our way." And I'm like, "Whatever, bro." That motherfucker was there in 2 hours
mm,
ready to get me out. And I could hear him in the hallways telling them to get the fuck out of his way. And I knew at that point that I didn't want anybody else to help me except for that man, him.
yep,
Because that was the first time I thought that I was like, I'm actually getting taken care of by a guy. But I didn't know about UBH. But to get back on topic, UBH is an inpatient program that they have for the military that they put you in like this. I mean, really, it was kind of comfortable, to be honest with you.
oh, yeah,
I
100%.
mean, the beds were kind of chill. I mean, it is. I mean, it is. You are in an inpatient program. You are not leaving, but it didn't feel like it. and it didn't feel like you were forced to kind of open up too much feelings or open up. They kind of guided you into, and we got him. Like it just takes one, like, I don't know, for me, it was one word where like Bonnie said, well, that probably stems from your dad. It is from my dad. And then boosh, and then trauma, 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 trauma. And then it unleashes. So, but yeah, UVH, shout out, man. They're amazing, man.
Oh yeah, 100%. Thanks for that clarification, man. I got a visitor.
Oh yeah.
What you
Hey,
doing?
babes.
Oh, what
Damn,
happened?
I haven't seen them in a minute,
Get
bro.
cut.
No. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say hi.
Hi.
That's dang.
Dang,
Yeah.
he's gotten big, man. That's
Oh yeah.
crazy.
Hey,
Holy
I'm in.
crap.
Okay.
All right. Love you.
He looks like he looks like Lewis Hamilton with those braids. About to go drive an F1 car.
Yeah, man.
But
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
UVH was something
UVH
different.
is awesome.
It's fucked up and cool because you get to see, you're there's a military wing. This is an entire hospital. This is a military wing, right? So when you're going, you know, to chow or to, mealtime or whatever you want to call it, or going to the gym to go, play basketball or whatever the hell you want to do, man. Like you get to get a taste of the other wings, and it's like,
I ain't never going there by myself, not military. Like, hey, thank you for all the smoke breaks and all the coffee that I get. Yeah, right.
And I mean, yeah, shout out to the staff there, man. They're super,
Oh
super,
yeah.
super helpful. What's the nurse's name, man? The guy nurse them out.
There was yeah, the chubbier guy was the funniest fucking guy. He always had the corniest jokes, but he was amazing
Yeah,
because
man.
he knew that I didn't want to be there. I because I didn't buy into it. I was, I went there closed minded, and because I was forced.
Yeah.
And he started to see because you go around and you say something like, I don't know, I forgot what it was, like everybody reads like something, and I'd always say pass. And he like came to my room one time on the couch because I said, "Fuck it, man," and because you're not allowed in your room, right? You're supposed to be out in the common area. I said, "Fuck, I'm going back to my room." Hey, man, because look, you want me to make my steps every single day I can. I was like, or you and I can just walk up and down this hallway and we get some exercise in. Maybe you can help me get my steps in. I was like, man, this guy's trying to get me out of bed. He goes, come on, man, come on, help me out. Help me do something. All right. And he would say, like, I'm fat, or he would say something stupid that made me laugh. I'm like, all right, dude, I'll walk up and down with him. So I started sharing my life with him a little bit, going up and down the hallways. And I'm like, all right, dude, like now I kind of have like an accomplice there, like someone that's going to be someone that's going to, I can be able to talk to instead of just it being all feelings, feelings, feelings. I can go in there, someone related. Yeah, shout out to him, and he's awesome. And Bonnie there that ran the program, she was awesome. I was able to give her a great thank you. Meg, don't know if she was there whenever you went. She was the physical fitness trainer there that helped us out with like basketball fitness. She kind of helped out. She had shorter
Man,
hair.
so I think I kind of went there in a weird time, right? That was during COVID. So
Oh, that's right.
yeah,
You
dude,
did go through in the COVID.
there was
Yeah, that's right.
there was a skeleton crew there. It was a lot of, no visitors and all kinds of things like that. So um yeah, it was probably some of the same people weren't there, but yeah, man. My experience was a little different because I think I was just at a point, especially with that week leading up, I was just at a point where everything that I've been doing, even going back to after my first deployment, everything that I've been doing just ain't working anymore. So y'all help me. Whatever
Mm-hmm.
I got, I'm wide open to it. Like, and I think it was after the first day, I went into a group where, there were people that were graduating, and there's some Marines. I think there was a Navy vet, Air Force guy, like, something like that. They were all graduating on the same day. And, I started they kind of gave their spiel, how they came in and how they're leaving. And, a lot of them were like, I was kind of closed off to the idea of this. I didn't want to come do this, but I'm glad that I did. And I was like, okay, you know what? If it helped them, it's got to do something for me because
If anything, it'll at least I can gain something, right?
what do I have to lose at this point, right? So,
Yep.
I went into that thing with an open mind, man, and I want to do that was dude, I even addressed things, I wasn't expecting. I was expecting just, start from your military career on. So
No, they break everything open.
I was so hung up. So, they make you go in there and they do this timeline, trauma timeline, right? That took me almost the entire fucking 21 days to finish that. I actually pushed because that's supposed to be the first thing that you share.
Yeah.
I shared it, in a private session with the counselor, my lead counselor, whatever. I shared it with her and I was like, there ain't no fucking way I'm
You're
about to
letting
do
I
this in front
nope, can't do it in the group. Can't do group.
and
Can't
she
do it.
and that was one of the cool things. It was like, okay, I'm not gonna push you. I'm glad that you shared this with me, but I'm not gonna push you. Whatever makes you comfortable, this is your process, right? I think that may be the coolest part about that is that yes, they give you a curriculum, but it's your process. There were things where I told them absolutely not 100%. I'm not doing that, but I hear what you're trying to make me address. What if I did it like this? And they're like, I don't care. It's not for me. It's for you. So whatever you need to do to work through this stuff, you do it. And
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
think that was what worked for me, right? It's one of those things where, I had to learn that the way that I needed to hear it. They taught me how to talk to myself, right? Which is I think is a lot about processing
Oh yeah.
what you got going on, is asking yourself those questions like you were saying, those stuck points, working through those stuck points, why am I feeling this? What is the feeling? Why am I feeling this? What causes it? You know what I mean? And what's the root cause? Going back to, going down all those steps. But that was just going at my own pace and my own curriculum, you know what I mean, to process what I needed. I think that's what makes that program so fucking cool, man. That and
Oh yeah.
they understand that, it's really hard. You've been through some of the most traumatizing, and I'm not it's probably a HIPAA violation. I'm not gonna put any names out there, but there were people that were there that were there not for combat related stuff, man. I mean, fucked up shit, but it wasn't all combat related. So
That's what made it so interesting was that it didn't matter what your trauma was. They didn't care.
I didn't
They
care.
just they didn't care.
Nobody judged.
And yeah, everybody just kind of wanted to help they wanted to help you out.
Yep. Yep. I mean, I got people to this day, I don't talk to them very often, but to this day, I still reach out to some of those guys, man. I mean, it was a very necessary experience, and I'd like to say thank you, for because I had no idea about UBH either. Um,
Nope.
and it is I hope that it's still the same program, and I hope I'm not, you know, advertising this out to people that, maybe need it, ended up going there and it's not the same experience. I would hate that. I would have to, like, if that happens to anybody, if anybody goes, God forbid, anybody has to go to UBH after fucking hearing my endorsement of this place and it's not the same, let me know. I will go up there and be like, yeah, what the fuck are we doing? Because there's no reason
Yep.
why that program should change.
No. No.
It is insane. And if anybody else has been through anything, let me know. I'll put that up on the next show and let people know about it. You know what I mean? That any program like that, 100%,
Mhm.
100%. Fuck.
Drinking my Topo Chico.
That was so cool. Make my head itch. Nice.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to slow down on my energy drinks, man. I'm trying not to have so much caffeine, but it's so good.
Yeah, I do this very sparingly, man. I hate drinking energy drinks, but it's late in the day. My day has been long, and I be doing too much. Sometimes I need that extra kick. Doing too much. Now I gotta get off of here and go mess with these kids, man.
Mhm.
So, hell yeah. I think that's a I'm at a comfortable stopping point with that. Do you have anything you would like to add?
No, man. Shout out to
Big
Suge
word.
Knight. Shout out to P Diddy.
He
He didn't
did
do it.
take that, take that,
Um,
take that. Nah, he was after that. He was saying, take that, take that.
yeah. Uh-uh. Every breath you take. No, I got nothing, man. I do appreciate you having me on here. Like I said, we've we've shared a lot of things that I think that kind of keep that. Like I said, it's different from other people, and I think that that's very important in the veteran community is to be open with your brothers. You know, they're never going to make fun of you because they're probably going through the same shit as you. I think that's always the biggest fear is looking like a weak person or looking like a weak leader or maybe not
You just,
living up to the expectation. You know,
man, you honestly, you just brought something up, man. How long did it take for you to get VA benefits, to apply for VA benefits?
long due to pride, probably 4, 5, 6 years
The
after the
magic
military.
word. The magic word. I,
Hmm.
you know,
Oh, pride,
yeah, bro,
pride. Bro,
100%.
I won't. Yeah, it's. I've told you like, it's the pride of not getting a DV plate. How I am until I need it. But today, actually, at Texas Roadhouse, the only parking spot that was available was a veterans parking
And you
spot,
whipped straight up in that
and I
motherfucker.
fucking went, yeah. I fucking lifting that bitch so
That's why I
fast.
stopped at Lowe's, my boy.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I went in there and I was like, fucking. So he's like, well, you'd be proud of me. I finally did the thing. And she's like, well, I was like, use my veteran status. She goes, oh, and I'm like, stop it. That's one. All
A
right,
lot of
that's
people
one.
like asking for veteran discounts, bro. God,
Hell, but it hurts me. It hurt. I'm like, no, no, I don't want your fucking 10% off, bro. I can pay it. All right, don't do that.
yeah, man. It took me a while, long time, but after applying, um, and actually getting something back from the military, and seeing, people congratulate me about it. Like, I thought I was gonna be looking I was thought people were gonna look down on me, for
Hmm.
trying to, get help, financially. But I had a couple people tell me, "Hey, there's no shame in it, man. At some point, you have given a lot of your time, a lot of your emotions. You've invested so much into the military, they can give back to you." And I was like, okay. And especially
Yeah,
was this
yeah,
especially the comment like you did so much physically for them, right? At least go get that stuff on paper. So, when you get later on in life, shit starts breaking down on you, and it may be linked to something that you had going on in the military. Just take
yes, yep. Somebody. That's what made me do it. And it kicked me out. My pride was think about 50-year-old Paul. Don't worry about 30-year-old
oh yeah,
Paul.
100%
Think about 50-year-old Paul whenever he's having that fucking lean over status and he can't sit up straight or
with the
his
cane.
knees are bad or yeah, he's walking with the cane at 45, you know, what's
I'd buy you some new tennis balls for your walker. I love you that much.
wow. You know, it was like, you know, you can get this sooner. You can have this sooner and you know, thankfully I do have it and it definitely helps out and it helps out with, you know, going to the chiropractor, doing little things like that, going to, getting, massages, getting stuff done on my back and my shoulders, stuff like that to help out with those pains that still, I need to have in order to do these workouts that I was so used to having. So yeah, I know VA is it's different, man, but I am glad that I got some type of benefit from it. But yeah, used my first time ever at using a veteran parking spot. Bad habit of mine is keeping my PC right there
You
in
still
the
keep your
dashboard.
PC in your dashboard?
It's just something I've always done,
Yeah,
man. It's the
it's
only thing you'll
hard.
ever, yeah. Oh, it's crusty, bro. Like it's sitting there, dude. But it's always been something that I've always had. It's something I've always I've yeah, I've always had it there, and that it always kind of keeps me grounded with like
I'm centered.
everything that I've done. So yeah,
Yep. I'll this room is a mess, but I'll show you what keeps me centered. We're in the lab. This little thing up here. I know
if it's a
every
sex swing, I'm
veteran.
gonna lose my mind.
You can't really see it. Oh, it's focusing now.
Okay, I see it.
But
Look at
that,
the flag.
yeah, hang on. Let me see if I can get closer. Ah, it's a coin board, man.
Yeah, coin board.
All my coins that that hatchet up top was given to me by, I don't know, my bad. That hatchet up top was given to me by my LT on my platoon leader from my last deployment to Afghanistan. Um,
Nice.
the little plaque next to it was given to me by one of my soldiers. I think whenever I was leaving the unit that we both came to after deployment. Um, but it says "Do Militas" on it. I don't. I think it's a leader of men. That's what it means. It's pretty cool, and it's a picture of the whole platoon. When I was a
That's
platoon
cool.
sergeant, it's a picture of the whole platoon holding Bangalores and shit. Demo range, yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Miscreants. God dang, I miss those guys. But yeah, man. Um, so back to what I was kind of saying. Don't
ADD.
have no shame in your game. Go get your VA benefits so you can park up front of Texas Roadhouse and Lowe's.
Yeah, because they fucking need to give them to you. Fucking VA. Sorry, man. Shit. I can preach all day, bro. I can preach all fucking day. They gotten better. I will say that, but I can
Yeah,
preach all fucking day on the VA.
bro. Yeah, we'll save that for another episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, we'll save that for another episode. 100%. Man, hey, I appreciate your open honesty, the vulnerability. Um,
Thanks, man.
that's
Appreciate yours too.
I know that's not always easy to do, especially uh, being a man, being a veteran, being a veteran leader as well. Right, I think that was one of the sticking points for me. But there's we have compounding things that kind of prevent us from expressing our feelings, especially openly with the world.
Yep.
That's I love this episode because that's part of what I'm trying to do with this podcast. So man, I appreciate you coming on, staying up late with me.
Of
Uh
course. I'm up already with my son, so why not?
he's a night owl, man. Is he still awake?
Probably, bro. He's over there listening to Miss Rachel, probably getting down with her, bro.
I know he doesn't go to sleep with Haley, so it takes old
Mm-mm.
dad's shoulder to put him to bed.
It does, man. It does. It sure does. But I do appreciate you having me, man. We'll definitely do some more topics, bro. It's been awesome. But yeah, man, I'm happy to share more experiences with you. I'm hoping I can shed some more light on some more stories, and maybe we can have more talks in the future, dude.
Hell yeah. I look forward to it, bro. All right, man. Love you, bro.
All right, love you too, homie.
Later.
Later, dude.
All right, so that was Paul Gonzales, everybody. If you like that episode, if you think it did something for you, please share it, like and subscribe, all that good stuff that everybody says at the end of their podcast YouTube channels. I'll have the links to everything in the show notes. Hopefully, I don't forget this time. I think I've said that every fucking time, but I don't really put it all in there because I'm last minute editing and trying to get it posted before the week. I've done this one a little earlier, so I got time to do a lot of stuff in post. So, I'll try to get a little more of that stuff in the description and be a little more active on social media. I haven't really been pushing everything, but we're gonna try to get it moving. Get more people on, get more topics covered, get more people talking about their experiences, man. Um, because it's real life, and again, everybody goes through shit, but at the same time, we can all get through shit. Different smell, different consistency, different frequency, but it's all shit. So, with that being said, this is the No One Has It Figured Out podcast. Till next time.